Tech fans, what is going on? It has been an exciting couple of days. Just yesterday, Apple announced that they are ditching Intel and kicking their butt to the curb, which means more pain for Intel, which is probably something that we all know they need. Intel needs to be shaken, woken up, and they need to really reinvent their self. That's for dang sure, we all know that. But today, news comes from the NVIDIA camp, and Cyberpunk 2077, whoop, guess what? It's here! Let's check it out real quick. All right, so check this out. Unless you've been like sitting somewhere and not paying attention to things, Cyberpunk 2077 has been one of the most anticipated games of the year, and the game just is crazy looking. You guys are going to be seeing a lot of things you're going to go, wow, it kind of reminds me of other games. For one, to me, so far from just what I've seen and been able to mess with, I feel like it's GTA on steroids or speed, because this game is just crazy. Elements that we've seen in other games previously, you know, like interacting with hookers or chasing people or doing crimes or driving your car, all of these same elements are now in Cyberpunk 2077, and there's going to be some other things going along with that. So this game is pretty much an NVIDIA, I guess NVIDIA sponsored or working with NVIDIA type of game. It's going to be, you know, obviously going to say best played on NVIDIA. It's going to feature DLSS 2.0. It's going to be able to feature all of the latest DirectX 12 extensions. And really, there are four major technologies that have to do with ray tracing and RTX. And these four technologies are this. The first of these technologies is ray traced ambient occlusion. Ambient occlusion is a shading and rendering technique used to calculate how exposed each point in a scene is to ambient lighting. The result is a diffuse shading effect that darkens enclosed and sheltered areas and enhances the rendered image's overall tone. Now, in Cyberpunk 2077, ray-traced ambient occlusion additionally can be used with local lights to approximate local shadowing effects where shadows are actually missing. Now, the next is ray-traced diffuse illumination. This technique is used to capture sky radiance as well as emissive lighting from various surfaces, which is difficult to achieve with traditional rendering techniques. Next, we have ray-traced reflections. In Cyberpunk 2077, ray-traced reflections are used on all surfaces and can trace ranges for up to several kilometers. That's just crazy. They are present on both opaque and transparent objects to simulate the way light reflects from glossy and metal surfaces by tracing a single bounce of reflection rays against the scene. This includes smooth natural mirrors like Windows glass, but also rougher surfaces like brushed metal. Unlike scene space techniques, which can only reflect what's on screen, ray trace reflections incorporate the entire scene around the character and can accurately represent objects outside the camera view or facing away from the camera. And last up is ray traced shadows. The Cyberpunk 2077 preview supports directional shadows from the sun and the moon. Out of this world, baby. These shadows aim to be physically accurate and even account for light scattering from the clouds. Shadows may be enhanced in the final release to support other types of lighting sources where it's needed. Now, as you guys will see in the trailer, this game just looks crazy. I mean, here, let's jump in and check it out. Look at the gameplay. Look at how everything is completely shiny, realistic looking. I mean, it still looks like you're not totally like in a complete, you know, immersed realistic environment, but things are getting closer and closer all the time. And with all the reflections, lighting, and all of these things, this game just looks incredible. I mean, I'm blown away. I'm going to get this thing onto my computer as soon as I can and start playing it and just see if it's, you know, really fun gameplay for as well as it looks. I mean, look at this thing. So that trailer, it does look pretty crazy, right? I mean, woo! I mean, I think it's beautiful graphics all the way around. Now we're gonna come back to the people who are gonna say, oh, you know, these things don't mean much, yada, yada, yada. Well, obviously when the game comes out, it'll be able to be played on AMD cards just as well as NVIDIA cards. And I say just as well, I mean, the game will play. You are not going to get all of these crazy killer ray tracing effects at this point on an AMD card. And plus, since right now, I mean, even the highest end really card that you can get on the AMD platform, I think it's probably going to struggle to keep this game going and looking really good. You know, I'm just thinking that we're not going to really know till we see the results coming in. But so far from what I'm seeing with all of this graphics candy and everything, it's probably even going to push the limits of their current generation of RTX cards. We've talked about it before. First generation RTX cards, they're just kind of like, they're there. They do the ray tracing stuff. They just don't do it that well. We've talked before about how they run the software, then use the SMs to do everything. And it's just not the best way to, you know, calculate and do everything. Now, obviously, with this game being released, I'm thinking that we're going to be getting even closer and closer and closer to seeing new video cards from NVIDIA. Now, if their second generation video cards come out, I mean, everybody's gonna say, oh my God, they need to lower the price, the lower the price. It's probably not going to happen. That's just, price has been pushed up. Everything's been with the lockdown, raising prices. They'll use every excuse they can to keep prices the same. But here's the thing. If it'll actually do what's advertised, if it'll do the ray tracing and pump out all the frames per second you want and do all that and get all that greatness of the video, then the cards will be a success all the way across the board. We've seen now that there are lots of games. I think that NVIDIA just released some information a couple of days ago where they talk about all kinds of new monitors that are going to be supporting G-Syncs. They're going to have G-Sync compatible monitors all the way down to the low end. Things are changing. Plus, there are a lot of games right now that support ray tracing. So if NVIDIA can fix all of those issues, make ray tracing something that's able to be nice, eat a nice healthy sandwich, I think people are going to munch down on it. Let me know what you guys think. I honestly think the Cyberpunk 2077 is just nuts though. I want to go in and just get crazy because, I mean, face it, GTA 5 was freaking awesome, man. I've been playing that game for years. I still play it. So if we can have a game that has kind of those same aspects, but even way more intense with better graphics and better interaction and all that stuff, heck yeah, this kid is down. What about you? Let me know in your comments below. Hey, if you like the channel, sub, but if you sub, make sure you turn on that little bell or you'll never see my videos. And if you want to keep the channel going, hey, the best way to do it doesn't cost you a penny, not one red penny. Try Amazon Prime for free. Watch all their movies, use all their stuff, use them like a cheap hooker, and if you don't like it, ditch them. And guess what? It helps keep me on the planet. Love you guys. Peace out. We'll have links down below if you want to check out more stuff about Cyberpunk 2077. I'm a punk. Are you?